Welcome back to Your Health radio and television program on AM 1240 KNRY and on AMP Media Channel 24 and on the web at www.ampmedia.org. We are talking about summer sun and safety today, and our next guest is Kelly Berg. She is an environmental health specialist at the Monterey County Health Department. And she has been an environmental health specialist there for several years. And she's going to talk to us more particularly about summer safety as related to pools and beaches. So welcome, Kelly. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. So I have a couple questions here, but big, broad question first is, what does the Environmental Health Department do to protect the beaches and the pools here in Monterey County?
For swimming pools, public pools, we inspect them twice a year to ensure compliance with our health and safety codes of California. And with the beaches, we do water testing as required by Assembly Bill 411, as well as if there's any imminent health hazards, we will respond to those.
So it sounds like you're mandated to do some of the actions, and then some of the actions you do as part of routine care.
Exactly.
Great. So you mentioned Assembly Bill 411. Mm-hmm. What's that?
It was passed in 1999. It mandated all the coastal counties to do beach water sampling. It was also to provide uniformity for recreational ocean water testing, so everyone does the same type of testing and so forth. Requirements are the beaches that have over 50,000 people who visit them each year. That is one requirement. The second requirement is it's next to a storm drain.
Gotcha. So those beaches are the ones that get inspected. And how often do the beaches get sampled?
From April 1st till October 31st, they're sampled on a weekly basis, assuming there's no adverse weather happening at that time. For example, if there was a rain, we would have to wait 3 days after the rain had subsided to do the water sampling. From November 1st to April 1st, it's just once a month.
Wow, but that's still a lot of work, so mm-hmm. There's a lot of sampling that gets done. And you mentioned that each of the coastal counties has a certain test that they have to do. What do you look for in the water?
We're testing for total coliform, fecal coliform, and enterococcus bacteria.
So you're really looking for a lot of bacteria that can be placed into the water either by humans or animals.
Yes, they're what we call indicator organisms. So it's an indicator that there may be some other contaminants in there.
Okay.
So
then once you find the water in the beach has elevated level of, let's say, total coliform, mm-hmm. What happens?
Once we're notified that there has meet the requirements, then what will happen, we'll go out and post the beaches as recommendation to not go swimming, to stay away from the waters at this time until the bacteria levels are back to normal levels. The other things we'll do, we have to update. We have a hotline that you can call in, that the public can call into, and they can find out if any beach advisories are in effect at that time. We go above and beyond what's required by the state. We have the website, so you can go onto the county website and see if there's any beach advisories at the time, as well as we do press releases.
Right, I've seen the press releases, but I didn't know there was a hotline. Would you happen to have that number, Kelly?
It's 1-800-347-6363.
Okay, say it again.
1-800-347-6363.
And then otherwise you can go on the county's website as well.
Yes.
So you can just call, say you're planning a trip the next day to go to, I don't know.
Carmel Beach.
Carmel Beach, yes. Sounds good. So you can call up and speak to a live person, or is it a recording that tells you which beaches might be closed?
I believe it's a recording.
Okay.
Yes, and then we also, once we're informed of the posting or of the the excess bacteria in the water, then we will go out and do routine sampling again
Okay.
until we get the levels back to normal.
Okay, so until it clears. So you'll either be able to call or go to the beach and see a sign up saying that the beach is closed.
Yes.
And you mentioned closure and then advisory. What are the differences between those two types of alerts?
Closure just means ocean contact is not recommended. If you see signs posted, they're going to be in yellow.
Okay.
A beach closure will be in red, and that means absolutely no, do not enter the water. If there was a sewer spill as well, a sewer spill will require us to close the beaches until we get the testing and the results back from the water testing.
Oh, good to know. I've always wondered the difference, and now I know. Before we move on to pools, can you give the public again the phone number if they want to use that
Yes.
line?
It's 1-800-347-6363.
Excellent. So we talked about Assembly Bill 411, and now there's another Assembly Bill that helps keep our pools safe, and that's Assembly Bill 1020.
Yes.
And I think that was passed just this January. Can you tell us more about that bill?
Yes, it's the Virginia Graham-Baker Act. It was passed as a federal law, first passed in 2008, came to an effect 2009, and it deals with suction hazards in swimming pools and spas. It was developed from former Secretary of State James Baker. His granddaughter was involved in a spa accident in 2002 and did not survive the accident, so that what came out of it. California passed Assembly Bill 1020 this year, and it came into effect this year, January 1st. So now we're going through the process of ensuring all the pools are in compliance with the law.
So what does that entail? Do you have to do more inspections, or is it part of the routine inspection that you have with the pools?
It can be both. The pools are required to complete a plan check form. They had to have work done by a licensed contractor, and it can entail either, for example, a lot of pools and spas will only have one single main drain at the bottom of the pool, and that will entail the pools or the spas to either split the main drains, and we're going to go out and do an inspection to make sure that they're split hydraulically balanced. If they're not able to do that at the time, then there's secondary devices available out there for pools and spas to install, such as a safety vacuum release switch, and that'll help if there was a suction hazard. If something was to go on that drain cover, then it would help to shut off the motor until it was turned back on again.
Okay.
And then there's also main drain covers to help with the entrapments.
Right.
So.
Okay. So that's a lot of stuff that they have to do, but it's based on law and based on some tragic events, and besides that one incident that was very public, I know that we've had some incidents in the state, not in Monterey, but that we've heard of as well.
Yes.
So what other things, you mentioned a routine pool inspection. What do you do besides, does an inspector do besides look for those remedies that are mandated by Assembly Bill 1020?
A routine inspection will go out to the swimming pool. We'll look at the water chemistry to ensure the pH levels are good. The cyanuric acid levels are good if they're using cyanuric acids. The chlorine levels or whatever type of disinfectant they're trying to use are within normal ranges. We'll look at other safety features such as body hook. They need to have a 12-foot body hook for in case someone was drowning, they could help save the person drowning, or also, in addition to the body hook, they'll need the life ring.
Okay.
We'll also look at the enclosures, such as the fence, making sure the fence is within our code, as well as the gates. The gates all need to be self-closing to prevent anyone from coming in that's not supposed to come in. We'll also look at making sure the water clarity is good, because we don't want a pool that doesn't have good clarity, you can't see the bottom of the pool, and we'll look at the equipment as well. So
Very extensive. So
Yeah.
you're looking at, besides the quality of the water, also the safety of the pool in general with the fencing and the hook and the, what was it called?
life ring.
The life ring and all that stuff as well, and handrails and what have you. So, and that's for pools and for spas?
Yes.
Are there
yes.
different requirements for each, or do you do the same testing for the water and what have you for the spa as well?
The same testing. It does the same testing. The spa, in addition to the pool, will look at temperature because we don't want the temperature to exceed 104 degrees. The other thing we'll look at for the spa, they have to have a manual release that stops the motor, the jets on the spa, to make sure that you can shut an emergency shut-off switch in case there is an emergency. So, and that was in that way, yeah.
So so we know you can close a beach.
Yes.
Can you close a pool?
Yes, we can close the pool if there's immediate health and safety issue available, or at that time of inspection. So that would be if the pH wasn't within our levels. Our pH, what we're looking for is 7.2 to 8.0. If it's below or above that, then we'll close that. Cyanuric acid levels are, we record them at parts per million, so we're looking at over 100 parts per million. That could result in closure. Chlorine, if there's no chlorine in the pool or other type of disinfectant, then we can close that. If the main drain covers aren't on, if there's no covers on the main drain, so we can close the pool, and the water clarity. If there's the water clarity, if we can't see the bottom of the pool, then that's not good, so we're going to close the pool until they can see the bottom of the pool.
Well, I'm feeling really safe.
That's good. That's good. That's our goal.
Yes. And what do you think is the biggest or the most common risk that you see that occurs at during your inspection of a pool or spa that seems to time and time again be the thing that is the biggest risk for someone that is going to the pool or that spa of that hotel or apartment complex? What I see a lot of would be the water chemistry, so the pH and the chlorine might not be available at the time. This is a lot of stuff for people to keep in mind when for those that have to maintain the pools and spas. Does the environmental health department do any training for managers or owners of the pools, or is there? Do you know of any? Do you give them any information for them to know what to do?
Well, they're more than welcome. They can come pick a copy up of the law that we regulate by. But then there's a class that we took, is the Certified Pool Operators class, and so a lot of the pools, pool contractors have their what we call CPO, Certified Pool Operators license, and so that's part of the training. They'll go into more detail than what we look at. So.
And that's something that's offered by the county, or is that something that's a state or another?
Private industry.
Industry, okay.
Yes.
Sounds like they need to take that test and take that course.
Yes, it's very informative. We were all, at one point, all the inspectors, we went to the CPO classes as well.
That's good, so you know what they're learning.
Yes.
So what about if I'm on vacation in Monterey, of course, and I notice something of concern? What can I do as someone from the general public to voice my concern? Is there some person I should call, or some website, or what information's out there for me to use?
You can call our main phone number at 831-770-4508 and file the complaint. They'll get that to the inspector, and we'll respond as soon as possible to that complaint. That you can also go onto the website, and there should be a form on there to file a complaint as well.
Okay. What was that phone number again, Kelly?
831-755-4508.
Okay. Well, that's good to know, because it sounds like you are out there, you're testing the beaches, you're testing the pools, but there are times when you're not available to do everything all at once, so it's good to know what we can do as a general public, where we can go to get our concerns voiced.
Yes, and if you are seeing something that is an immediate health and safety issue, especially with pools, go to the pool operator and talk to them immediately so they can rectify that problem.
Very good point.
Yes.
That's a good point.
And then you can contact us.
Right, is to try to see if you can have that conversation with the person right there on site.
Yes.
Because they're responsible. And they may also not realize that they're not in compliance for one reason or the other.
Yes.
Okay, well, good to know.
Yes.
So one other little question I have that has always been, before I started working at the health department, I always wondered, what does environmental health do? You don't hear about environmental health, and I learned why, because you guys do such a good job that we don't know that you're behind the scenes protecting our pools, protecting our beaches, but you do so many other things. What do you do in your day, Kelly? What other things do you do?
My specific job at the environmental health, I inspect restaurants, we respond to complaints, housing complaints, garbage complaints. We do swimming pools, like we talked about, beach sampling, field toilet inspections, vectors, rat, cockroach complaints, vector.
All those different things. Wow, well, it's good to know that you're there. It's nice to have a face and a name to part of the Environmental Health Division.
Yes.
So thank you. I have one thing, so people know of two things to keep in mind when they are out on the beach. They should look for advisories, know that behind the scenes the environmental health specialist is out there testing for the safety of the beaches. But if they have any concerns, they can call that 1-800, no, it wasn't a 1-800 number, was it?
Yes, the first one was a 1-800
Okay,
number,
that
yes.
1-800 number, which was again?
1-800-347-6363.
Okay.
And the signs will be posted where the legal entrances are.
Okay. So you have to make sure that if you're taking a shortcut that you're going to miss some valuable information.
Exactly.
Okay. And then the other thing in terms of pools is that there's lots of different things that you look at. You're looking at the water safety, making sure the chlorine levels are good. You're making sure that their safety, the hook and the ring are there. You're also making sure that the gates close correctly, that there's safe handrails, the spa water is at a good temperature, and also the bacterial levels are, is it the bacterial levels are at a good?
The water chemistry.
Water chemistry, sorry, is good. So that's good to know.
Yes, we want to make sure the gates are closed and working well, because fencing and gates are the #1 death for toddlers in California. So because the little toddlers will be curious, and then they'll sneak in and drown.
Yeah.
They can drown. So we want to make sure that that's always, the pool's always protected very well, and someone's always keeping an eye on the pool to make sure.
Well, thank you so much, Kelly.
Yes.
I learned a lot of information. As I mentioned, I feel very safe jumping in the pool or dipping my toe into the water. It's too cold for me to go into the water here, but thank you very much for your time. We are going to take another short break on Your Health radio and television program. Don't go away. We'll be back in about 2 minutes.